Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Music Mondays. I hope you're well, hope you're chilling, and happy motherfucking Monday. So, this is episode 91. How are we doing on this fine Monday night, my friends? Decent show lined up for you, couple talking points. Big week for Music Mondays. We're closing out a couple big projects. I'll give you guys some details on that in a moment. But for now, let's hop into your weekly updates. So, what's been going down at Music Mondays over the last week or so? Episode 91 is live on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. Make sure you go check that out, and it's also live on all audio platforms. That was a really solid episode of literally like the best of the best Music Mondays exclusives, and just like almost like a showcase of the community. So episode 91 is really dope. I touch on a few good subjects there as well. So if you haven't seen episode 91, make sure you go check that out. Go show that some love. A brand new article is live on allmusicmondays.com by Raylo. It is an interview with Tamagotchi Massacre. That is a name you may or may not have heard of, and it's a wonderful read. Raylo has been really stepping up the content game, if you will. Ray's genuinely been killing it, you know? No matter what kind of piece Ray touches on, I feel like it's just increased in quality, increased in effort, increased in passion overall. Because if you have more passion in things, you know, quality and effort obviously increases regardless. So that's why, you know, I've noticed that Ray's really been killing it. So if you haven't checked out that brand new interview, make sure you go give that a read, man. Definitely a good one. Definitely a Music Mondays classic, that's for sure. Dose of Daybreak, Volume 5 by our staff DJ Michael Jones is available on our SoundCloud. That features the likes of Kale, Michael, Winter's Twilight, so many other artists that Michael crafted into a mix this month. And if you don't know, Dose of Daybreak is our monthly mix. Different from our playlists like Underground Classics and SoundCloud Sunday. Our monthly mix is about 15 to 20 minutes of the best underground tracks that have recently dropped. You maybe haven't heard, stuff that you maybe glossed over, into a finely mixed single track. Because if you don't know, Michael's a DJ. And we wanted to give him an opportunity to really showcase what mixes can do, what Michael's abilities and talents really are. So that's like a huge thing, man. So make sure you go check that out. And what the fuck? Hold up. We got King Mark with a fucking 5-bomb to kick episode 91 off. Holy shit, this motherfucker, dude. Oh man, let's fucking go. We got a fat 5 gifted from King Mark. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome back to the crew, and welcome everybody who received a gifted from the homie Mark. That's a total of 10 gifteds in the channel, man. Let's fucking go, Mark. Look at you up on the leaderboard second, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's get it, Mark. Thank you so much, my friend. We got all the homies. Let's fucking go. Not to interrupt. Nah. You're good. You're good. We always gotta stop to show love, my friend. Always gotta stop to show love. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be discussing that towards the end of the show for sure. Mark just came in with a bomb. Start the show off real motherfucking hot. Let's go, man. Let's fucking go. And that sub goal looking nice too, eh? The white icons look crazy. Need my train back though. I'm pretty sure you can customize that shit. You go down to the settings, you can customize your icons in chat. But Mark wanted to come through and show some love. I love you too, bro. Thank you so much for supporting Music Mondays, myself, and the channel. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend. I literally can't express how just grateful I am for shit like that, right? Because it was never truly about the money to begin with. It's more so the gesture is what means a lot. The fact that people come out to support the channel, right? Anytime somebody subs, watches, shares a stream, drops bombs, it's really the gesture that it is just more than appreciated, man. It's just more than appreciated, truly. So thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for starting off the show like that. Let's fucking go, man. Yeah, so episode 91, live on all platforms. Make sure you go show that some love. Go check that out. A brand new article live on the site by Ray Lowe. Definitely go check that out. Dose of Daybreak Volume 5 is live on our SoundCloud with Michael Jones. Make sure you go check that out. SoundCloud Sunday Volume 53 is also live in our SoundCloud. That dropped literally yesterday. It's just under an hour. Features the likes of King Mark, like you have in the chat here. There's so many artists, man. Heretic, just a whole crazy ass lineup on SoundCloud Sunday Volume 53. So if you're looking for a playlist of the latest and greatest underground tracks at your disposal, stuff that you can skip through and really just have a big chunk of music, that's definitely your playlist, believe it. So that was curated by myself, Ivica Glass, and Waterfalls. So make sure you go show them some love as well, and go run up SoundCloud Sunday, man. So if you're ever interested in SoundCloud Sunday and you're like, damn, how the fuck do I submit to SoundCloud Sunday? How can I get involved and things like that, right? SoundCloud Sunday submissions open every Wednesday religiously. So make sure you just follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're located. You'll be updated with the latest Music Mondays information and when submissions open for all of our playlists, podcast reactions and reviews, new drops, things like that. So definitely follow us on socials. Go check out the latest updates on Music Mondays, man. So what's coming? What's going down in the Music Mondays world, man? Well, we have a brand new exclusive monthly piece that I've been really talking about, and really haven't had the chance to disclose many details on, but tonight we're gonna have a little chat about it. The monthly piece is titled "In Case You Missed It Monthly." So what this will be is a written piece. Essentially, it'll be in list format. And it'll essentially be your guide for all the tracks you may or may not have missed throughout the month, whether they're singles, full projects, maybe sometimes even whole artists that just may kill it throughout the month. You'll be put in case you missed it monthly. So this is being curated by myself. Ivica Glass originally came up with the idea, and Aster is working on some graphics for this whole sort of monthly piece we're going to be doing. So expect some revamps around the Music Mondays homepage, and who knows, you might find yourself on the list. You know what I mean? We're going to be recycling these throughout the month. So if you don't make it on a month, don't worry. This will be a monthly thing, much like Underground Classics and Dose of Daybreak. Feature Friday, Workshop Wednesday, things of that nature. It'll be a monthly piece. So in case you miss it monthly, it's in the name. So don't fret. That's one of our biggest pieces that we've been really trying to organize and make sure we get out for you guys towards the end of the month. So later, more towards the end of the week of August or October 24th, which is today, I would say around Friday, you'll have full details, possibly even the release of this piece. But you'll know more details if you follow us on socials, Twitter, Instagram, things like that. So make sure you do so at All Music Mondays or at the bottom right of your screen. or if you're in chat or on YouTube, check the description or exclamation point MM. So that's one piece that I'm really excited about, because it's in a different format, right? It's not just a written piece. It's going to be a whole more graphical piece for um the community, and really just another way to have it, a nice showcase and a nice showing of what's released throughout the month. Like I said, sometimes it'll be albums, sometimes it'll be singles and albums. Sometimes you might have a whole ass artist in there, but expect that every month. So we have one other event that we'll be announcing towards the end of the month as well, but I'm not gonna go into too much detail because it's more so in the competition format. I sort of had this idea brought to me, and we've ironed out a lot of details about a competition for producers and later on vocalists. So expect a whole lot there as well. I'm not gonna go into too many details, like I said, but that'll be more towards the end of the month, right? Today's the 24th of October, so we literally have this last week up until next Monday. So lots of details to come out regarding these projects. Absolutely. So that's what's up, man. We have a lot going on in the Music Money's background. We're also talking to a couple new staff members. And per usual, if you're interested in joining the Music Money staff team, we are looking for writers, designers, curators, underground enthusiasts, individuals of that nature that are looking to contribute to platforms that have, a goal like we have, and really become the greatest place in the community to go for your latest underground music, and really to get your work showcased, right? Because of course, as we grow, we're still gonna, be able to sustain all the things that we do, right? Like, the free promotion with SoundCloud Sunday, the reactions, all of it. Like, it doesn't matter if we have 100, we have 10, we have 1,000 people. It's all gonna be worked around, and we're gonna make sure that this is a system that works for everybody, and everybody gets to be able to have a piece of the pie, right? And just, give supporters a place to go to be able to find everything, right? Music Mondays isn't just for the artists, it's for genuine music listeners that want to support us and support people that work their asses off for their career. So that's really the ultimate goal, man. So if you're interested in joining the staff team, definitely shoot us your resume, pitch, send us an email, send me an email. Of course, all of our contact information is linked down below. Same thing with Music Mondays. So reach out to us, man. So, that just about does it for Music Mondays updates, my friends. And what a start to the show, because we had King Mark come in here and just drop a motherfucking 5-bomb. That is still some crazy ass gas. Let's go, man. Let's fucking go. Fucking King Mark just coming through. So, over the last couple of Music Mondays episodes, we've been busy. I've been finalizing things with the staff. We've been going up and down with things. One topic that I realized that is just really, really important to discuss. And I don't know how I haven't really touched on this. It's just one of those things that I guess, like, like I guess I touched on, like, I don't know, like maybe like on like a personal regular stream, I might have touched on it. But this is a topic that you're gonna, grab a snack, kick back forward, and we're gonna have a little conversation here before we get into submissions, right? Because we have a standard amount of submissions we're gonna run through, and do our motherfucking thing. But before we do that, we're gonna have our conversation about content creation, being a creative, being an artist, and the relation to working a regular job. What the fuck do I mean by that? Well, one topic of conversation that doesn't seem to die down, that I always see get brought back up, is that, streaming, being a performer, being a YouTuber, um, you know, people love to compare those, right? And, whether it's content creators and artists saying that what they do is harder than your regular 9 to 5. And I think, there is no like right or wrong answer to this. It's really all an opinion thing. So here's my take on it. This is just my take. If you don't feel this way personally, that's fine. You know, that's why you have your opinion. It doesn't really matter. But this is my take on it, and how I view things as somebody who does put in a lot of work as a content creator and a digital manager, a producer, a streamer. And I mean several avenues I've dipped into over the years that have become a part of my daily life. So, what's wrong with this really argument? I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me when I see people compare the two is that they just can't be compared, right? Like, I think it's apples to oranges. This is a very apples to orange topic. Like, I don't think that people who work physical labor, people that work in factories and shit like that, they can't do what people that, code projects do, and the people that engineer online projects, and the people that work with computers daily, and the people that really do a bunch of like technical sort of like non-conventional jobs. They can't do what we do as far as editing and filming and things like that go, even creating. Just as much as we can't go out and fucking, be a landscaper and build a crib, or, be a fucking plumber, or work on an oil rig, or some fucking crazy shit like that. Like, that is not comparable in my eyes. Because if you work 12 hours, you work fucking 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like, one isn't easier or harder than the other. Like, sure, like, physical labor will always be demanding, but like the pressure and risks you take, like becoming an independent entrepreneur creator, is like insane compared to like the safety of a regular job. Like, that's why I think it's so like easy for people to critique content creators and artists and musicians and things like that, because they sort of have the safety net, and they're like, yeah, you don't know what it's like to like put in work for this safety net and this, that, and the third. But in reality, like, a lot of artists, a lot of creators, a lot of streamers, a lot of people take a lot of fucking risks, like trying to make their goals work. And that's something I don't see like talked about enough. You know what I mean? Because like, you'll see it on like platforms like TikTok and Instagram, where people, they'll talk about how streaming, or working in the fucking oil field is like 10 times harder than being a YouTuber or some shit like that. And it's just not even the same fucking topic, bro. It's just not even the same like conversation to me. Like, you literally could not sit down and do what I do, just like I couldn't sit down and do what you do if you were, working in a factory in an oil field, this, that, and a third. Like, brother, like, you can't fucking work 12 hours a day, take meetings, edit, post, take care of other people's work. Like, brother, what? Like, the programs that people use out in like these physical labor jobs are developed by people, that work office jobs. So it's like one hand washes the other. And like, people look at artists, right? Like, even more specifically, like artists in general, like, so many artists like work their fucking ass off. Like really work their fucking ass off. And it doesn't even really matter like what kind of scale you're at or level. Like, once you reach a certain point, you're kind of going through it. Like you're, flying 6 days a week. You're doing shows here, you're doing shows there. And people might say, "Oh, fucking boo-hoo. Like, you have to go do shows and autograph signings, and, you know, you have to worry about studio time and, you know, working with this guy, but, like, people, like, don't understand, like, the pressure of that, though. Because it seems like, oh, just get it done. But, like, if you don't get it done, people don't understand. You are fucked. You are dead in the water. Just like if you don't show up to your McDonald's job Monday morning, you're done. Just like if we don't fucking get, you know, X, Y, or Z content done over the course of, you know, X period of time, you're done. Like, the pressure is still the same. And I think that's something that a lot of people, like, sort of overlook. And it's just like a shitty thing. You know, it's just like a shitty thing. Because I don't see the fucking comparison. Like, why the fuck would I compare myself to Joe Schmo, who works 8 hours a day in a fucking oil field, to somebody who sits and edits, you know, 4 videos a day, fucking, and then fucking streams 8 hours and you know, goes to sleep at 6 a.m. and then does it all again. Like, why the fuck would you compare those two jobs? You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that, like, I think discredits both ends. Because, like, people on, like, the content creation artist side will be like, yeah, I can go work a Walmart job. Yeah, but, like, that's, like disrespecting, like, the working man, right? Because some people are just, like, really good at what they do. And they're very, like, passionate about it. And I think that's fine, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody needs to be a creator. That's, you know, some people just enjoy their jobs and their hobbies, and it is what it is. But I think where both sides go wrong is when you start to, like, downplay each of those things. Because, like, when it comes to, like, working a regular 9 to 5, you are, like, sort of at a ceiling when it comes to hours. Like, not many people work, you know, more than 40 hours a week, you know, maybe 60, maybe 80 in some extreme cases, but no more than 80. Like, some streamers are doing 150 hours a month. Like, yeah, dude, you're just sitting there at your desk. Yeah, but brother, like, you're putting in the same amount of work, and like, you can't possibly wake up every day and wanna go do whatever you do every day. Like, eventually it just gets, like, not tiring, but the routine gets to you. Like, not every day people are gonna want to wake up and go fucking stream. Like, even the biggest streamers will tell you that. Even the biggest artists will go and tell you that. Like, not everybody wants to wake up and go create. Not everybody wants to wake up and go perform. They're gonna sit there and tell you that, like, yeah, like, you gotta put in those crazy amount of hours, but, like, it's the same as any other job. Like, some days you're just not gonna wanna fucking go in and clock in. And that just leads to the conversation about the people who just push the extra mile, really, you know, get what they want and deserve. But that's a whole other conversation. What I'm really talking about is, like, you know, the pressure is really on you as a creator. And that's really the thing with that is like, people just have this forced pressure from other companies, right? If you go and work for a company, it's a lot easier for you to, like, take that pressure off yourself because you're letting the company put the pressure on you. It's not you putting the pressure on you. Whereas it's just if you're a musician, producer, streamer, YouTuber, you have this, like, outside pressure as to where, like, if you're a fucking failure, it's like, yeah, like, look at you, like, you didn't do shit, like, you just fucking put in all this work for nothing, da 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 da, and you just ended up, quote unquote, like the rest of us. When in reality, like, people just don't understand, like, the ultimate grind that it does take. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about, like, the weird kind of lazy content creators, and I'm not talking about the weird lazy people that work 9 to 5s. I'm talking about the real grinders. You know what I mean? Like, the people that work, you know, 12 hours a motherfucking day, putting in 150 hours, going to overtime, sleeping 4 hours a night, like, every motherfucking day. Those are the people I'm talking about because I've seen them on both sides. You know what I mean? I'm one of them. I've just always had that sort of, like, hustler kind of feeling in my blood, and like, I've always um just never quit on myself no matter what. Um Even if, like, I couldn't accomplish a goal, I made sure, like, I came to terms with, like, what this goal was to me, and like, getting to a common ground with everything that I wanted to ever accomplish. And like, it's just, you know, people just kind of want to, like, blanket everything under, like, yeah, this is easy, this is hard. And it's really not that simple, as especially in, like, a modern day and age, as to where, like, you know, jobs that are, like, physical labor will sort of, like, always be around, right? Like, they'll always be a thing. But, you know, the more and more creators and demand, happens for these creators, the more and more space and opportunity opens for people to like work their ass off and like get to where they want to be as a creator, as a musician, as an artist. So like I think it's also like kind of bullshit that people want to downplay that sort of fact as if we're still in like 1996 where like there's no such thing as a fucking YouTuber or anybody making money off the internet or from the internet or through the internet or by the internet. You know what I mean? Like none of that was a thing. But like I feel like that's where a lot of that mindset comes from is because people were raised on that like sort of, go to school, get married, get a job, get a degree, sort of bullshit. And it's just like, brother, like that's just not the way society is anymore. Like society fucking progresses. So like unless you want people to like slave away for some, you know, white guy in a suit who just fucking runs some shitty ass company that you never see, like then that's fine. But like people sort of started to like wake up in society and they were like, nah, I'm gonna accomplish goals while I keep myself afloat. If you got to work for, McDonald's, Walmart, who gives a fuck? But as long as you're not giving up on your goals, that's all that matters. And a lot of these people that are saying this shit towards creators and musicians are the people that just gave up on their goals. Like, not a lot of those people genuinely enjoy their jobs. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing with that. Like anybody you see talking negative on like creators and musicians are the people that like don't enjoy their fucking jobs. Cause like you'll see like accountants and lawyers, and they'll be like, "Yeah, dude, I think that's really dope that you're a musician and you pay your rent through that and this that, and the third." Why? They're giving props because they like give a fuck. They like care about their job. They're like, okay, like I have a secure job, so it's cool to like be happy for other people. Like the normal people like aren't happy for creators, and that's like the other sort of side of it, as to where like creators sort of do both. We are the creator, and you work a regular job because you still have to be afloat. So that's like the sort of thing that like it's not weighing right on the scale for me. You know what I mean? So food for thought. Definitely food for thought. Um, Important topic, but I do see it sort of come up every now and again. So yeah. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to comment down below your thoughts. Um and yeah, just one of those short topics that sort of um I had on my mind and sort of was like, holy shit, I can't believe I never spoke about this. So kind of funny, but interesting conversation for sure. So it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen, for motherfucking submissions. Many people ask, they'll be like, Zom, how the fuck do I submit to the show? How do I get on the podcast? So what's the dealio? How do we do this? What's going down? So every week, following the live podcast, so say you're watching on Twitch or you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, submissions are most likely open. If you're watching on Twitch, submissions will be open tomorrow. So essentially, every Tuesday after the show, submissions will go live, and they'll always be in the same format: reading, artists, and creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on 10/24/22 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/ZomBlaze, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creation, drop your links to portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. Per usual, like I always say, contrary to our name, we've reacted and reviewed literally everything on Music Mondays, from vocals to instrumentals, mixes, analog sounds, artwork, digital art, digital creations, fashion, merchandise, edits, YouTube visuals, music videos, you name it. We've probably reacted to it here on the show. So if you're an underground independent creator and you're interested in getting involved, and you want us to react and sort of showcase your work here on the Music Mondays podcast, feel free to drop your links and portfolios below. Music Mondays is a very non-profit platform in terms of submissions and articles and playlists, right? So we'll never ask you to pay for any submissions. We'll never ask you for money. We never have. We never will. It's just not something that I particularly have ever done or will ever do. It's just something that doesn't help the underground thrive. Um, if you're ever interested in supporting Music Mondays or the show, future Music Mondays events, or even myself or the channel, our main sources of revenue are things like Twitch, our YouTube channel, our Spotify, Google Podcasts, things like that. There's also a donation button over there as well. So if you're ever interested in supporting the show, that's basically how we do it. Also through partnerships and things like that. We never really ask the artists to donate to us financially. So if you are looking to do that, the only way to do that are the ways that I mentioned. So that's why Mark is greatly appreciated doing that and supporting the Music Mondays podcast, man. So like I said, we never have, never will take money for submissions, but the only thing that we do ask before you submit your track to the Music Mondays podcast is that you're following us on Twitter. A couple of reasons for that. The first being it helps grow the main page. It helps us reach a new audience and brand new artists. And on top of that, it gives respect to the people that do submit and follow and wait for their reviews and reactions every week, man. So just continue to help grow the podcast is all we ask, and help grow the platform. And that's about it. And submissions usually close, about an hour, a couple hours before the show starts. So you have roughly about 6 days or so to actually get your submissions in. So just know that, but you should have plenty of time. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, submissions are most likely open. They actually 100% will be open by then. So that's all the details. And you might be asking, why do you curate on Twitter? Why can't I send a link through Instagram or fucking email or Google Drive, things like that? It helps keep the show very free flow, right? People who listen on audio devices or even just watch the full show back, which if you do, you're much appreciated, by the way. But the ones that do, it just helps keep the show free flow. We don't have to hold up too much. We can just dive right into the next submission. Boom, boom, back to back to back to back. We can just roll through them. And like I said, secondly, it helps grow the platform, and really builds a community of artists that can introduce themselves to each other, network with each other, and collab with each other. So that's why it's a good place. And that's about all you need to know about podcast submissions here on the show. So, without further ado, let's get the fuck into it. Episode 92, Music Mondays submissions. Let's go. And like I said, we have a healthy sea of submissions here, and we have quite the interesting lineup. So I am excited here. Up first though, we got the homie King Mark. And what the fuck is there to say about Mark, man? Like, Mark came through, kicked off the show with a 5-bomb, and has always been supporting the channel, and has just become a really great member of our family here at Music Mondays, but just the community in general, man. Mark has really gone above and beyond this year, ever since we first were introduced to King Mark, to not only reach new ceilings and highs as an artist, but to really come through and just show support on a consistent basis that's very genuine. That's just something that you don't see a lot. So huge shout out to King Mark, man. Truly. But what's really important here is this submission. Out on SoundCloud now, all platforms, Friday. So Friday. Okay. So the 28th, we got some SoundCloud exclusive King Mark right here, ladies and gentlemen. Titled "Save It for Another Day," dropping on all plats this motherfucking Friday. But we're gonna go check out the SoundCloud version. And I mean, like, fuck me, dude. What can you say? The King Mark cover strikes again. Simple and not overly edited. Like, I think covers like these are really good for a few reasons, but the main one being it's just not overly edited, and it keeps the King Mark aesthetic um from the font to the overall picture chosen. It just kept up with everything. So cover art definitely nailed it. But we do have lyrics in here, so we can definitely dive into this. King Mark, save it for another day. Forgot I made this 4 months ago. What the fuck? Okay, that's actually hilarious. Literally, I just saw that description at the end. I forgot I made this 4 months ago, lol. Holy shit. I love the direction of this sound. Like I truly love the vibe here. A couple things to talk about. Definitely a couple things to talk about. So, um, let's dive in here. Dive in. So, we're gonna talk about three things. All right. Talk about the instrumental here. And talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of "Save It for Another Day," which I actually like this theme a lot, especially lyrically. So instrumentally, I love this choice. This kind of takes me back into like early like 2018, 2019 kind of alternative electric pop kind of sounds, except it had those like harder kind of hip hop-ish dark trap drums where they just kind of knocks, you know what I mean? It was a little bit of grit in there. But I like this beat choice a lot. I think Cabs Control did a really good job with the structure as well. Like I said, the layout's nice. Mix is definitely solid, especially with Mark's vocals. Not much to dissect here. I do enjoy the choice, and it's an overall like a very like it's a memorable instrumental, but it's like that much better with Mark vocals, right? Because this instrumental could easily hold its own. It would definitely be a solid listen as just a solo instrumental, but Mark gave it that extra push and really like gave it that electronic popish vision that it needed. So instrumental, absolutely solid. Let's talk about vocals here now. The vocals are kind of like it's an interesting mix because it's not like too different from your regular King Mark. It's not like drastic, crazy change where it's like, damn, Mark's doing, a different style here. No, I feel like this is almost like just a slightly altered version of King Mark and almost a bit more R&B ish in terms of even flow. But in just regarding the mix, I do like this kind of. I don't want to call it like a softer direction, but I feel like it's got this like a little bit of like R&B kind of like smooth little swag to it. So I like it a lot, definitely. But it is wrapped under a really really solid mix. So mix is solid. I really enjoy how these vocals came out. Um Definitely some of the more rememberable in my opinion, just because it's sort of like touching on that different side a little bit, but I don't know, something about it just kind of touches a little bit, and I think it has to do with what I'm about to talk about, and it's definitely the lyrics. And I usually talk about how you could have some like solid fucking writing, truly, like you could have some really really solid writing, but it takes another artist to really like mold this writing into something that's like tangible and very like it just has this kind of bounce to it. And I think this hook definitely is a shining star for me because the writing is you just have this King Mark style of writing where you can envision this story and you understand the story, but the flow and the way this hook is done is so like it's perfect. It's very very perfect for this track. And you have the basic structure, right? Sort of kind of the standard style, but I feel like the hook is so memorable that it's like, damn, this is like one of those kind of like chill little bops. You're like, okay, okay, like very perfect single material. Um, I can't give this like enough props. Like I really enjoy this kind of vocal style here, to be honest with you. Um, and that's one thing you can always count on Mark for is sort of like a different sort of approach depending on what either Mark is feeling or the song calls for or things like that, right? So I do feel like this is one of those catch you by surprise tracks where you see Mark kind of coming a little different. And like I said, Shining Star for me is definitely the hook. And I feel like the hook definitely, lets Mark shine in a slightly different way than we're normally used to seeing. So instrumental, absolutely solid, solid choice. I think Caps did a really good job. Vocals are excellent. Shining Star for me is the hook. Well written and well delivered and performed. Let's talk about the theme here. Now, aesthetically, like I said, you have this sort of, you know, King Mark kind of minimalist approach. It's very like chill, relaxed, but it just has this like what is now consistent, right? Because sometimes Mark just won't have covers yet, or Mark is different versions of covers and different covers for things and things like that. But we're sort of seeing like Mark come into like a style musically almost, and really develop things that supporters can associate Mark with, whether it be the font, the pictures used and chosen, the slight edits and things like that. It has this sort of like vaporwave yet like minimalist approach to it, and they're always very very solid as of lately. But this one definitely it just has this like simplicity to it that worked out really well for a track like this. So aesthetically, A1. Um, Save It for Another Day. I mean, relatively obvious when you look at the lyrics, right? And I think this is kind of a topic that a lot of people could get behind and really relate to, because it's just like, all right, I'll just save it for another day. You know what I mean? Like no matter what it is, like you could be going through almost anything and you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna save it for another day, or you know what I mean? Like I don't need to deal with this like right at this very moment kind of feeling. And that's, almost what Mark is describing here, but you could really dive, into a couple different undertones here emotionally, and it could resonate with you as a listener in sort of like a different way. But I do like this sort of lyrical wordplay with the phrase "save it for another day." I think it's clever. I think it's very like relatable in terms of like hearing the lyrics and listening to this track and being like, damn, like that's fire. And I feel like once again, shout out to the hook, because the hook definitely, you know, emphasized on that whole sort of, theme that's really floating around in this track, to be honest. Well fucking done. I mean, makes King Mark, our King Mark, Prodcaps Control, perfect single lyrics and description. Like, what more can you ask for? Like, this is fire. And it sort of has the different vocal approach which you can always expect from Mark, right? Like, you're not going to get the same standard sound every time, and which if you do, that's fine. Some artists like to do shit in a different way, you know what I mean? Like, there's no rules to this shit. So when it comes to, taking a different approach this time around, I think it worked out. And I mean, it usually does, but in this case, it's very like, boom, new King Mark. You know what I mean? It's got this kind of new and fresh feeling. So, with that said, huge shout out to King Mark. Thank you for the submission, my friend. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow King Mark on SoundCloud. He is 10 away from 160 on SoundCloud. Make sure you follow King Mark on Twitter. 3 away from 270. That's a fire ass milestone. That is a very good milestone. Go show King Mark some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. We're approaching 70 subscribers, man. We're literally 4 away. I think we're like 4 away. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't hit that mother trucking fucking sub button, bro, I hope you make a hot pocket and it's cold in the middle. It's cold as shit. You just put that in there and you put it in for 3 minutes and it's still cold in the middle. I hope that happens to anybody who's watching and is not subbed. I'm entirely memeing. Huge shout out to anybody that already is subscribed to the main channel, though. Thank you so much. You devious dog. It's a bad one. I know. Literally. But yeah, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. We upload 2 times a week, exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive tracks. All of Cyberfest is on there. A whole lot of stuff is on there, man. So go show the channel some love and go show these artists some love. But yeah, that I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to anybody, right? But cold hot pocket is definitely pretty fucking bad. So I don't know. All right. Like Mark said in the chat, Absono the GOAT. And we got Absono coming through with a couple submissions. And Absono said he got a different one lined up. He said, fuck it. Originally submitted a track titled Stand By Me. Shout out Stand By Me. It's a great movie. But instead they wanted us to react to 21. So if you don't know, Absono is a producer that I have a lot of respect for. Link broken maybe. Hold on. Absono is a producer that I have a lot of respect for in terms of being a producer that's very like, um, you know, truly embodies what it is to be a producer, and truly treats himself like an artist. We see them from time to time here on Music Mondays. but I'd like to see more of that out of producers, that they would just treat themselves like artists, release singles, host tracks, just really embody being a producer, and Absono is definitely one of those for sure. Has definitely done a great job growing their platform. Well, like I said, we have a track here titled 21. And this cover's crazy, but hold on. We need to see if we can get this link to open. I mean, we could just listen to it in browser, but it's been a while since we've had to do that. Let's just refresh the page and see how we do. Hey, we got it, we got it, we got it. Let's go. Okay. So, cover's nuts. I like the cover. But of course, exclusive unreleased Absono. So, actually no. Oh, okay, no. It is unreleased. I almost thought it was out. But 2 days ago, so relatively new Absono. I'm interested. Exclusive unreleased Absono 21. Melody's hard as fuck. What is this? Oh fuck. What the fuck? Okay. This fucking guy, bro. What? Oh, oh shit. Oh.
They're strong. Please be careful.
Oh man. Ah. Hmm.
You're in my way, boy.
Holy fuck.
No, you don't.
Yeah. This breakdown is nice. Kept it simple and let the 808s do the work for sure. Oh, shit.
They're strong. Please be careful. Let's do this again when you grow stronger. You'll make for a more delicious snack then.
Yeah, well fucking done. Vocal samples hidden. No, I agree. Vocal samples were definitely well utilized here. For sure. Okay. Alright. All right, you guys know the drill. Let's break this down. We're gonna talk about two things here, considering no vocals. We're gonna talk about the instrumental and talk about the overall theme of 21. Wow. Um, where to begin here, right? I mean, first off, the mix is really, really solid for as many sounds and as how wide and heavy and theatrical they are. The mix is very solid, tightly wrapped. Especially the 808s. I like the grit to them. I like the knock to them. I like how the kicks are done as well. Um, the mix was just well packaged for sure. I mean, that's something you can really always expect from an Absolno mix. Um, Absolno's kind of pretty notorious for having a very solid mix as far as instrumentals go. So no surprise there that this track sort of has a very tight and um well done mix, to be honest. But let's talk about the instrumental itself here, right? Wow, couple shining stars for me. Um, I would say the first one being the 808. I love how the 808 was utilized here. I love the sound choice for all these drums, the flute, and I love the intro. It was just, it was, wow, Jesus. There's a lot I really, really enjoy about this. Um, you know, Structure is a huge thing here as well. That's one thing Absono has really dove into, was really developing a sort of structure with their instrumentals, really coming up with different styles and things like that. Because that was one thing I noticed was Absolno's instrumentals were always fire, but I wouldn't say they lacked variety. I would just say that they would, need to breathe a little bit. And this track 21 shows that Absolno has been toying with that idea and really lets the instrumental almost kind of glide and breaks it down a little bit. Especially say about through the halfway point, the instrumental starts to break down here. And you only have about what, like, I think the melody, and then the 808 kick in the hats. There's only like four sounds going on right here, and you just have this nice little breakdown after having this epic, like, well orchestrated instrumental from the first half. So I love the breakdown here, and that's becoming a more and more common theme with Absolno instrumentals lately, and it's been really nice to like sort of see Absolno take the approach like that, right? Because it's not something that's like standard in the producer world. Like, once again, there's really no rules to this shit. It really depends on what kind of case you're doing. So, like, say you're making an instrumental album that's strictly instrumentals, you're not sending beats out to any artist for vocals. I would stress variety. I would stress more sounds. I would stress being able to like make your beats go the length of a track and trying to fill that up with enough variety so it doesn't become repetitive. Or you could just go the whole hook verse hook direction if somebody was gonna throw some vocals on it. You know what I mean? And either way is fine. It's just a very case by case basis, and I think this one would definitely shine as like a solo instrumental release, um, just because of its variety. People love tracks like this that really just sort of knock and you can really like bob your head to, and really are very, very bouncy. I think 21 definitely accomplishes that. Um, but yeah, man, Shining Star for me, definitely the variety here. And definitely the structure for sure. Sound selection is great. The 808 is definitely a close second Shining Star for me. Um, you know, this is just a great showcase of what Absolno can actually do as a producer. And man, let's fucking go. So yeah, you have about 3 minutes 11 seconds of a fucking banger right here. Let's talk a little bit about the theme of 21. Aesthetically, maybe not, might not be the final cover. It might be the final cover. If it is, fire. If it's not, fire. Either way, I love the effort of being able to just sort of throw a cover on there, even though it's unreleased. You're not dropping it yet, etc., etc. So aesthetics perfect. Track title 21. I mean, you know, not much to super go on there, but when it comes to having an instrumental really speak for itself, this is one of those tracks, right, where you could like name it almost anything, and if you just play it, you just know it's about to be some crazy shit because of the flute and how well the intro is done and how well the outro is done. You're gonna feel like, damn, that was a fucking heater. So not too much of like a crazy underlying theme here, but Absolo did a really good job at really making an instrumental that's like, hey, I'm a fucking fire ass producer and I make instrumentals that you're gonna want to listen to regardless of vocals. And I think that's one thing that's super tippable and a lot of producers need to be doing a lot more of. So a huge shout out to Absolo. Thank you for letting us premiere that on the Music Mondays podcast. And make sure you follow Absolo on SoundCloud. One away from 30 followers. Get this motherfucker to 30 followers, man. It's a good milestone. And of course, make sure you follow Proud Absolo on Twitter. 9 away from 350. Also a good milestone. Go show Absolo some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We upload 2 times a week. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive tracks. A whole lot of good stuff's going down on the channel, man. So, go show the channel some love if you haven't already. And thank you if you have. Let's fucking go, chat. So, up next, we got the homie Bloodcat. And, man, Bloodcat's been going in recently. Whether it be visuals, projects, features, like you name it, Bloodcat has just been all over the place. Bloodcat is easily one of the most interesting artists we have ever seen on Music Mondays. And the work ethic is something you can always take from Bloodcat, right? Bloodcat's always putting in a lot of work, and we always get the chance to react and review some brand new Bloodcat content. This week, they submitted Circa Saturn, a VIP freestyle. Now, this is exclusive and unreleased, so let's take a quick look at this. Oh, damn, that was gonna be loud as fuck. Okay. Now, Circa Saturn is it might be another Bloodcat side project. I think it might be. This will be the second Circa Saturn track, and we have something interesting here. And like I said, exclusive, unreleased, and it says featuring Bloodcat, produced by Apollo, art by Marley Angel. Art once again is fucking heat. We have this sort of like almost abstract sort of style of cat going on here, which is, perfect. Got the little money bag going on. Color palette's great. Let's check this out. Bloodcat Circa Saturn VIP freestyle.
Yeah, ever threw 10K out with the window down. She back it up, I lay it down, got her spinning now. I run that trick,
Okay.
run it down, got me spinning now. Driving through the night, looking space race, spinning now. Diamonds on her 2 front teeth, got her grinning.
Okay.
She losing, but she love to see me winning. Yeah, they call me every time I VIP, who let the kidding. Made it out there with no BRB, I know you didn't. Way I flooded dripping, never see a drought. Yeah, I'm good, I'm in the bathroom, kinda freaking out. I wanna take it, but I had to get the demons out. They pay my taxes on the bag, and now they're trying to clean me out. We ain't even met, got the kitty send me off. Do I got this check on my counter right now? Treat a neck like a op, cause I drown it right out. What the heck, this about? Can you drive it right now? Alley, cat, you be creep around the bag. Whoa, waiting on the bag, no trash. Whoa, alley, you, cause I'm dunking on your crew. And I always gotta shoot it, I don't know how fast. Want the bag, I want the cash, I want the cream, and you gon' see me take it. Young kitty cat with the dream, and you gon' see me make it real. Cause I'm dealing no deal with the cases, and I love it when they daddy races. And your bitch, you wanna fuck me cause I'm internet famous. Whoa, roll another blunt, I'm smoking what cause I ain't even wait. Diamonds on my watch, no time, no patience. Got my Louis loafers on, no time, no laces. What? Turn the kitty up. Billy way, I'm whipping out the truck. In my glizzy like a tummy cause it's I've been busy with my money, so much green, but ain't no luck. They try to take it from me, but I'm gone. I don't give a fuck. 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 Bust down now. Every cat girl in the world say meow now. Not for real. Whoa, every cat girl in the world say meow now. Whoa, whoa. Bow down. Where the money even go, I never found out. Southside nigga, but I'm trapping downtown. I don't clap for nobody, but I'm clapping right now. I won't let her in my house, cause she rent the booty out. My life a movie and the groupies found me out. Got me switching around. Ain't even smoking swishers, but I shoot her, then I switch it now. Shooter never miss a kitty, never missing out.
That shit was too groovy, man. That was too groovy. You know, this is just becoming something very, very interesting. Bloodcat has just been coming at everything from like all angles, like literally all angles. But this almost takes me back to the freestyle days. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to those days where you used to just fucking listen to freestyles all the time. Um, you know, Lil Wayne, Lloyd Banks, Wiz Khalifa, like I used to listen to a lot um as a teenager. And it just has that beat to it that sort of you just listen for bars, right? Like you just listen for punchlines and bars and punchlines and bars. So this will be a fun one to talk about. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of VIP freestyle. Um Instrumentally, Apollo did an excellent job. I feel like this was a really not like out of the ordinary, but it was a very kind of rare instrumental in the aspect that you don't see people utilize it as well as Bloodcat did. But I think Apollo really just um really had the perfect storm going on here, because I feel like there aren't many artists that would have came through and really slid on this beat as well as Bloodcat did. Um, Definitely not, definitely not. So I love like just the unconventionalness of it. Not that it's like a crazy ass different beat, but it's a crazy ass different beat for how well it's used. And sometimes people will choose beats like this, like I said, and sometimes they just don't end up as flushed out as they'd like them to. But this one, absolutely. Um, let's talk a little bit about the mix. Now, the mix is perfect, especially for like a freestyle where you're just listening, and you're listening extra hard. I feel like this beat was like at the perfect medium, for Bloodcat's vocals to really sit. So I like this mix. Very solid mix, especially for making it loud but not very like overbearing. So all in all, great instrumental choice. I think Apollo killed it. And I love the rareness of it for sure. Now, let's talk about vocals here. This was quite the freestyle. This was definitely one of those freestyles, like I said, where you just listen for punchlines. You just listen for punchline after punchline, and sort of takes you into Bloodcat's mind, but in like a different way, right? Like almost in the fashion that like classic hip hop, would like sort of paint a picture for you. And they have these sort of like wordplay um ways of going about things that sort of like makes it really easier for a listener to like establish what's going on in the song, and I feel like Bloodcat did a really good job at that. But like I said in the chat, Bloodcat's writing lately has just been out of this fucking world. A lot of our submissions have just been crazy as far as writing goes, and Bloodcat is definitely in that group. um with that said, this was one of those tracks that you got to listen to multiple times to really catch every single punchline and really fully grasp on how well done this writing actually is. But Shining Star for me, absolutely the writing here. Delivery was great in a very freestyle kind of fashion. I like how Bloodcat really slid on this beat and really rode it sort of like a wave, right? Definitely did a good job. Definitely. Um, you know, talking about the theme aesthetically, Marley Angel has completely killed every single art piece we've seen on a Circus Saturn project. This has just been something out of this world. You know what I mean? A little bit of abstract, but I think the shining star for the art for me has got to be the color palette. I love the colors chosen here. I love how everything is like grimy but very clean at the same time. And it just has this like it just has this aura to it, very like collectible but rare. And very like very like one of one. So our choice absolutely fire. Marley did a great job. Um, the overall theme, it is a freestyle, so you can't really like dissect like a fucking, here's what I wrote this song about and here's what it means. But there are a lot of punchlines and a lot of sort of plays on, almost VIP things, VIP subjects, and plays on words here or there. And it's just one of those tracks that you really got to listen to for all the punchlines and go through a couple times and really appreciate what's being laid out in front of you here, for sure. So, with that said, huge shout out to Bloodcat. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much, much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow Circus Saturn on SoundCloud. One follower away from 5 or 6 away from 10 followers. Go follow Circus Saturn. There's a little secret project going on here. And of course, make sure you follow BCat Plus on Twitter. This is Bloodcat's brand new Twitter. Bloodcat is 6 away from 50 followers. Go show Bloodcat some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are, I think, literally 4 away from 70 subscribers. So huge shout out to anybody that's already subscribed to the main channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you haven't, make sure you do so. We upload 2 times a week. Exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff's coming down on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. Let's fucking go. Nice little chill episode tonight, eh? Okay. Yep. So, we've had 2 insane submissions tonight. Well, 3, but one of them was an instrumental, and I was just thinking in terms of vocals, like, tonight has been really, really interesting. For sure. Like, the amount of, like, high caliber music has just been nuts. Truly, truly nuts. But up next, we got the homie Toybox. And Toybox is an artist that we reviewed and reacted to, I want to say, like, not last week, but the week before. It was a lyric video, and Toybox is back this week with a track titled Somewhere Out West. And the caption, "Hey yo, I'm back." All right, Toybox, let's get it. So, damn, what the fuck? This cover's actually so tough. Wait a second. This cover's actually hard as fuck. I won't lie, this cover's actually really, really sick. Color choices are good. I love how like HD it is, but yet has this like grime feel to it. Um, Great choice. Absolutely a great choice here. Um, 9 months ago, so not brand new, but not old whatsoever. So amazing. Damn, lots of love. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, lots of good comments here. Lots of really good comments. Let's check this out. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Toy box somewhere out west. Does Dan.
Descending into hell to kill the devil with the battle axe. The planet's wagging, I can't wait to get back to my habitat. I came to bring the masses and the fans and bring the baddie back and slap the bastards that is standing in the way of having that. I cannot cap, I'm kinda shook whenever in my acting that. I did not piss my pants, in fact, I only spilled my can of rap. I stop and hack and pack a slap to leave them with their glasses cracked. I don't think that they're seeing straight, I think they have a cataract. Imagine that, it seems as though for me this shit is wrapping up. It seems to me that finally we'll do what God has planned for us. It seems to me that finally I will complete the task that once seemed unrealistic but becomes more real as each day passes us. And after just relax and such until the world collapses. Fuck the devil and the piggies and the demons chasing after us. The planet sucks, it's whack as fuck is all that I be rapping. Cause I know that it's my mission to inform you we ain't having much time left. Every day that has been wondering how I ain't died yet. Bound to be ended and this is some shit that has taken a moment to digest. Seems to me that I am finally reaching the ending of my quest. Packing up my damn bags, I'ma fly west. I don't think that I'm a miss here and I don't think that I'll be missed by my friends. Every day I spend inside of my room, I can feel me succumbing to time's test. Pop a motherfucking vibe check. Kick the Appalachian stones like goodbye friend. I'm dead, don't plan to come back. Some of y'all would rather stay forever, but it's fuck that. I'ma hold the demiurge accountable, don't cut slack. Meet him in the next plane, tell him run that. I don't do religion, nah, none that, just facts. I think that the God of the Bible sucks at. Jesus came to tell us this is hell and we're all dumb trapped. Now we're really seeing it ourselves, it's the collapse. Yeah.
Flow and beat selection so elegant. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about here. We have a lot to talk about here. What an interesting track. All right, so let's break this one down here. We're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. We're talking about the overall theme of Somewhere Out West. Okay. So first up, let's talk about the instrumental. It's tagged to lo-fi. I would definitely put this in that sort of direction for sure. I would definitely agree that it's, chill hop, regular lo-fi hip hop, boom bap almost. Sort of has that like classical kind of hip hop feel to it. Um yeah, I feel like for the direction that Toy was going for this track, I feel like this is a really good instrumental choice. Mix is solid, nothing clashing too overbearing. I think Dan did a really good job with that as well. Vocals sit nicely. Nothing too outstandish about this beat. Very chill, very well done. I like the structure as well. Structure is very solid. It has a lot of bounce to it, so I feel like Toy definitely did a really good job selecting this, 100%, especially for the vision. So let's talk about vocals here. Now, this is kind of an interesting track, right? Because for one, I feel like just to get this out the way, the mix is definitely solid. Um, vocals sit nicely, nothing clashing too overbearing with the instrumental. The vocals are definitely like just very crisp and refined. Nothing too like overdone or really like outside of the box. It just has a very crisp standard mix for sure. So I enjoy the mix 100%. But You know, this track was almost in like a freestyle kind of format. It was very like in your face, like coming at you, like and you're sort of like absorbing all these bars, much like the last track that we just listened to. Where we sort of just took a bunch of bars and we were like, okay, okay, you know what I mean? Okay. Uh and I feel like Toy definitely did a good job with that because it's not necessarily a freestyle, but I feel like Toy definitely did a really smooth job being able to like lay all this out and spit in the fashion that he did. Um, you know, this flow and style isn't exactly the easiest thing to do and like actually do right. So I feel like Toy did a really good job. I would even go as far as saying that the flow and delivery here is definitely my favorite part. The writing was definitely decent too. Kind of interesting theme choices here. Um, but all in all, I feel like the delivery was very, very solid when it comes to making a track like this and really doing it in sort of like almost like a freestyle kind of like um classic hip hop format. But for what the writing was, it was definitely solid. Um, all in all, shining star to me, like I said, gotta be the delivery and the performance overall. The flows and cadences just really trump this whole track and really make you listen up to Toy no matter what the subject matter is. So let's talk about the theme here. Aesthetically, this is just really like a 10 out of 10 cover. I mean, we've seen a Toy lyric video, but this is the first experience we've had with a Toy box cover. And this is fucking crazy. I love the logo choices, like I said. The color palette's great. Um, the font is definitely a solid choice for sure. Um, and just the addition of like an IRL picture to like a real cover is always like a plus to me for sure. So well done on the cover. Definitely a very like memorable cover for sure, especially for like a first time listener. So, I mean, somewhere out west, right? It's not like an overall like, oh, this is what the theme is, boom. But you do have a couple of bars in here where it's almost like somewhere out west freestyle kind of deal. As to where Toy's talking about like multiple topics and subjects here, just throughout this whole track. There's a couple of topics to touch on, but I think Toy did a really good job at really keeping um a style and flow, but the lyrical content didn't need to really be consistent. And I think this is just a good showcase on Toy's lyrical and writing ability, and especially performing those lyrics and delivering them right. So well done. Huge shout out to Toy. Thank you for the submission, homie. Much motherfucking love. Make sure you follow Toy Box on SoundCloud. Toy is literally 7 away from 840. Good milestone. Go show Toy some love on SoundCloud. And of course, make sure you follow Toy Box on Twitter. Toy is 10 away from 60 followers. 10 away. Go show Toy some love, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 70 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, exclusive segments, exclusive podcasts, feature Fridays, workshop Wednesdays, a whole lot of good contents on the channel, man. So if you haven't, go check out the channel. And if you have, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is greatly appreciated. We are grinding, chat. We are grinding, grinding, grinding. So, let's continue on here. Don't Wake the Bear. I don't think, yeah, they do not follow the Music Mondays homepage. And as many of you know, that's the only thing that we do ask is that you follow the Music Mondays homepage before you submit your tracks to not only help grow the platform, but to help give respect to everybody else that does submit and wait every week. And like we always say, we don't charge for submissions or anything like that. So if you're ever interested in submitting, make sure you drop a follow on the homepage and we'd be glad to review your tracks. So, last but not least, we got the homie Bassie. And Bassie was a first time submitting artist a couple of weeks ago. I want to say not last week, but the week before. And Bassie had this style that was like out of this world. Really, really out of this world, with like a really angelic voice and just this structure and flow that was like just really, really fucking nuts. So I'm very interested in this. They submitted a track titled "No Cure," like I said, and the caption is "A little song I dropped Friday." So let's check this out. Bassie, "No Cure."
I wrestle on my t-shirt. It's just one of those days where I can't remember what I might have said or who I left for dead. Some mornings are harder than others. Just wanna stay under the covers and lie face down in the warmth and the comfort of home. Just leave me alone right now.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point like I don't remember what I did last night. Like if I try to think about it, it's like I don't even have any sort of recollection. Like that's just how bad it was, I guess. Maybe I can think about it.
Now this time I'm right. This time I'm sure that I'll be alright, even when there's no cure. Show me how the stars shine. I can see the from down here. Should look up the high. I know that I'll fall when I see the day glow. Missing your calls, I can't put on that show. Waiting on the sunrise, maybe it'll be okay. No one even knows anymore. Now it's back to square one, falling back into atmosphere, and the night's almost done. I swore I'd be okay. I'm blinded by the sunrise. I'm usually unfazed, finding out clues when I go through my texts, thinking of what to do next. I never thought twice about consequence, so I stumbled through trying not to look at the sky, laying down under trees like they're playing along to the song that I wrote last night. Broken bottles scatter the ground, and the sound breaks my mind out here. My mind out here, and it's clear that I'll learn to extinguish those fires. When I find them, I'll be fine, and then I'll run out. Now this time I'm right. This time I'm sure that I'll be alright, even when there's no cure. There's no cure. Show me how the stars shine. I can see the from down here. Should look up the high. I know that I'll fall when I see the day glow. Missing your calls, I can't put on that show. Waiting on the sunrise, maybe it'll be okay. No one even knows anymore. Build me up, then break me down. Still no cure that can be found. Lost myself in countless bottles. I can't listen to those sounds. Build me up, then break me down. Still no cure that can be found. Lost lost myself in countless bottles. I can't listen to those sounds.
Eesh. The fuck? Second fucking time we've heard some Bassie, and it was like really just some fucking different angelic shit, man. Like really, really different angelic vocals mixed with like this indie alt rock kind of take on uh instrumentals. I enjoy this sound a lot. A real lot. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals. Talk about the overall theme of No Cure. So, we have this very, very peaceful kind of angelic instrumental that these vocals sort of sit with, right? And I feel like Bassie did an excellent job, whether they self produced or chose this instrumental. Either way, this is a very, very stellar choice for this kind of a track, right? It has this very like poetic, very emotional kind of feel to it. And a lot of those feelings do start with the instrumental. So this is a great, great instrumental choice. Very simple, very minimalist. The mix is so solid, nothing clashing to overbearing. All in all, it has that emotional feel to it, but it's not very like overwhelmingly sad. It still has like a upbeat vibe to it, and either way is fine. But in this particular track, it wasn't too emotionally taxing. But it still gets the emotion across nonetheless. So the instrumental choice, very, very solid. Um, let's talk about vocals here. Bassie has some of the most angelic vocals we've ever heard here on Music Mondays. Um, and even in the underground, there aren't many artists that can, really do this style in a way that is their own, right? And they sound very original. And I think Bassie's definitely among that crowd that sounds very original, that can really like, really make their points and their tracks come across. Um, a couple shining stars here for me. Uh, I just love the writing, the flow, and the lyrics. All of them are just like combined make such a really, really well done fucking track. Because the lyrical essence of this is really well done, but it's presented and delivered in a way where it's very catchy and very like damn, like this is like it just has this bounce to it that is sometimes hard to capture when you're making emotionally charged music like this. Um, so all in all, this is another Bassie track where I'm just like kind of blown away. I'm like, holy shit. And it's just more so on the chill side of things too, right? Like there isn't like a lot to get like hype about. It's a very like emotional kind of chill out, kick back, relax, kind of like really immerse yourself into a track like this and really like understand where the artist is coming from. So No Cure is definitely that for me. So well fucking done. The vocals are absolutely nuts. And like at such a digestible kind of rate, right? Like 4 minutes, 29 seconds. That's an excellent, excellent time for a track. For sure. Now, let's talk about the theme here. Now the cover, I'm a huge fan of live covers that have like slight edits, so I'm all over this cover. A bias or not, I definitely enjoy this cover a lot, and it really keeps the whole sort of emotional aesthetic in check, and it really just keeps up with the theme of something like No Cure. Um, really just keeps you grounded and reminds you that this is like a very real emotional kind of track, right? So cover absolutely fire. No Cure. 4 minutes and 29 seconds. You have a lot of writing and a lot of topics in here that Bassie wants the listener to sort of understand in like not of like a super emotionally taxing way. Again, I feel like it's very rare to make emotionally charged music without making the listener feel emotionally taxed, right? And I feel like this is one of those rare cases where you can listen to like a sad song and not, feel sad from it. But you still like feel the emotion from it. I mean, either way, it's still emotion. But I feel like this is one of those rare cases where, I feel like, you know, mixing alternative rock, a little bit of indie rock, and like almost this raw style, like it's not done often. You know what I mean? I feel like Bassi, this is definitely not their first go around when it comes to music. I mean, they very well could have just, picked up a fucking microphone yesterday, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter because this is just one of those rare occurrences where somebody really blends so many styles and sort of themes into one track, and really shows what they can do as an artist. And I love that. So huge shout out to Bassi. Thank you so much for your submission. I can't wait to see where your musical career goes, where your ceiling goes. I cannot wait to hear from you again, my friend. Make sure you follow Bassi on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Bassi Music on Twitter. 3 away from 270 followers, man. So go show Bassi some love, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 70 motherfucking subscribers. Huge shout out to anybody that already has. We upload 2 times a week, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, exclusive tracks, a whole lot of good stuff's going down on Gentlemen. So, if you haven't already, go check that out. And go show the channel some love. Let's fucking go, chat. Huge shout out to you guys for submitting tonight. Huge shout out to anybody that did submit to episode 92. A little bit on the standard side of submissions tonight, but new faces, old faces, regular faces, brand new tracks, regular tracks. It's always a pleasure here on the Music Mondays podcast. So, let's chat for a little while, since we're just about wrapping it up, and we had a very, very stellar stream. What's coming for Music Mondays? Well, like I said, we have two brand new pieces of content coming out on our platform this week. Like I said at the top of the show, in case you missed it, monthly is a very, very important content piece we've been working on. It'll be 10 drops, whether they're albums or singles, every month of, stuff that you might have missed. Short reactions and reviews, and, little written pieces for each submission, right? So, in case you missed it, monthly is really something that Ivica crafted, but we've all sort of ironed out in a way where it's going to be a really dope way to present well done tracks throughout the month. And then sometimes there won't be tracks, there'll be albums, and sometimes it'll be like maybe a list of 10 artists that completely killed it throughout the month. But more details on that brand new piece is coming by the end of the week. So if you haven't followed us on socials, make sure you do so at All Music Mondays. The bottom right of your screen, check the description on YouTube, or !MM in Twitch chat. And besides that, we have another announcement coming through on Halloween, sort of in the lane of competition, and something for the producers and vocalists. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to reveal too many details on that, but stay tuned for that. It's going to be a very, very important thing. And of course, Feature Friday, Workshop Wednesday, the whole typical Music Mondays go around is still coming. The Music Mondays Awards is still happening. We have about another month until we'll break some details for you on that. But yeah, man, we have a lot of really, really dope drops for you guys. And of course, if you're ever interested in joining the Music Money staff team, make sure you send us a message with your pitch or resume. If you're a writer, curator, designer, underground enthusiast, you feel like your services and work ethic can contribute to the Music Money's platform, feel free to send us a pitch or a message. And that just about does it for Music Mondays episode 91. I feel like that was such a productive episode. We had a couple great talking points, few good submissions. Mark came through the chat, dropped a 5 bomb to start off the motherfucking stream, gifted subs to a lot of veterans in the chat. And overall, just a very chill episode of Music Mondays, man. I like these episodes because sometimes we'll have like 5-hour episodes and we're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? We got like 21 submissions and going crazy, and oh man. But the grind continues, man. We are almost at 100 episodes of the Music Mondays podcast. 100. Wow. Yeah, we'll definitely hit 100 before the end of the year, that's for sure. But huge shout out to anybody that came through and showed love on the Music Mondays podcast. Huge shout out to King Mark, and thank you so much for dropping a 5 bomb to the channel, man. I'm gonna send you a message after this, a little personal thank you, and we'll definitely have a conversation about a few things. But like I said, huge shout out to anybody that came through, show love. Anybody that submitted tonight for the Music Mondays podcast, I appreciate it. Thank you, my friends. Yeah, the motherfucking grind continues. Lots coming this week. Lots coming fucking very soon. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow All Music Mondays on all social media. And tomorrow, submissions will be live for episode 93. So make sure you get your submissions in if you're ever interested in submitting for the Music Mondays podcast. 99% of the time, submissions are open. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, huge shout out to anybody that came through. Show love tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been your boy, Tom Slays. We'll be back later tonight and this week for more streams. And I'll see you guys next week for episode 93. Be safe. Enjoy your night. And I'll see you next time.